Here in 2020, which app is better to drive for, Uber Eats or DoorDash? Well, in this video, I'm comparing them both head to head with real driver numbers here in 2020, going over things like ease of use, pay, demand levels, problems, and more. So join me on this big one-on-one comparison, and after, make sure to check out my Amazon storefront so you can have the very best accessories for this side hustle. That's linked down below in the description. So number one, just using these apps, that's ease of use. So how do you go online with both of these apps? Well, on Uber, you can go online whenever you want. It doesn't matter where in the marketplace you are. As long as you're in your general city marketplace, you can go online and start getting orders. That's not the case with DoorDash, at least not typically. With DoorDash, you have to schedule shifts, and you schedule those in certain segments of your marketplace. Now, the only way to go online at any time, at any place within your marketplace on DoorDash, that's if you unlock the Top Dasher status. Now, in order to get this feature on a DoorDash, you can only get it if you qualify for the Top Dasher program, which is currently in beta, and you have to meet the requirements. That's a customer rating of 4.7, a minimum acceptance rate of 70%, a minimum completion rate of at least 95%, 100 completed deliveries during the last month, and at least 200 lifetime deliveries. And again, that's in beta, which means most marketplaces don't even have this Top Dasher feature. So for the most part, you have to schedule a shift on DoorDash before you can go online. So going along with ease of use, how actually easy is it to use their apps? So both apps give you a good amount of information when you get the order request screen, which I like. We can see here a comparison. Both apps show you the amount you'll earn on that delivery. Both apps show you the miles, or at least the estimated miles for the delivery. Both apps show you the actual restaurant that you're going to be picking up from. Now, DoorDash actually takes this a step further. If this matters, they show you the exact number of items you're going to pick up. So pretty straightforward when it comes to the order request screen, but how much time do you get to actually accept that order? Straight from Uber's website, in most cases it says the app will wait 15 to 30 seconds before reassigning that order. Now 15 seconds can be pretty quick, and actually let me know down below in the comments if you typically see this on the shorter end of 15 seconds or 30 seconds. Let's just pause here to acknowledge Uber's pro tip on their website. It says, pro tip, accept a delivery request when you see it come in. I would say only accept it if it makes sense for you, dollars-wise, especially the dollars to mile ratio, how many dollars you're getting paid for the miles driven. Something important to consider, looking at DoorDash now, DoorDash actually gives you 45 seconds to make that decision. That's upwards of 3 times as long to look at all of that information, the pay, the restaurant, the route, the miles, to make an educated business decision. Now, also important to note, DoorDash says when you get a stacked order, that's one with 2 orders of course, Dashers will have up to 90 seconds to decline or accept that batched order, at least in some test markets. Now let's move on to the big one, that's pay. Speaking of the stacked orders, both of these apps can give you stacked orders. Now the tricky thing with Uber, when you're on a current order and the Uber Eats app gives you another order, a stacked order, you cannot see much of any info on that request screen. Specifically the miles. You can't see the miles or the direction of this new order. So you may want to accept that batched order, again, the stacked order, but you don't know if it's going to be 2 miles away or 12. Versus on a DoorDash, it also gives you stacked orders. If you're on a current order and you get a second stacked order, you can see all of the information like it was a standard order. You're going to see the restaurant, the amount you're going to make on it, and the additional miles added to your route. Now let's go over verbatim how pay is calculated. From Uber's website, here's how your fare is calculated. Base fare, which includes your pay for pickup, drop-off, time, and distance, plus what Uber is calling a trip supplement, added to help make every trip worthwhile, plus any promotions. That is a boost or surge, plus tips, and we can see here 100% of your tips you earn, belong to you and are always in addition to your earnings. All of that equals your pay total. Now let's look at the DoorDash pay model. And if you'd like to see how this model's improved over the years, check out the card linked above. So the Dasher pay model, we can see here number 1, base pay. That is time, distance, and what they're calling desirability for the order. Number 2, promotions, any peak pay or challenges. Now challenges are in beta as well. That is a streak bonus. So in those test markets, DoorDash may say complete 5 deliveries and receive an extra $10 or $15, whatever it is. Next, tips, and again, you'll earn 100% of the customer tips. All of that for DoorDash equals your total earnings. So just to clarify what desirability is here from DoorDash, we can see here regarding this base pay. Deliveries that require Dashers to travel a longer distance, that are expected to take more time, and that are less popular with Dashers will have a higher base pay. Now let's talk about bonus pay. So who's better when it comes to bonus pay? Well, they're quite different. Since you could go online at any time with Uber Eats, there's a constant rolling bonus called surge. This surge pricing, or in essence, it's a bonus to you, is a per delivery bonus based on picking up from high demand areas. And it'll look something like this. Again, this map changes in essence real time. I'm sure there's some delay there. But if our driver is located in these hot zones that have the plus $3 bonus, plus $2 bonus, then of course he or she will get that bonus on the next delivery. And there is a full breakdown of how much of your earnings was base pay and then how much of it was that surge pricing. So how do bonuses or incentives work on DoorDash? So it is quite different on DoorDash. DoorDash has more of predictive pay bonuses. And what I mean by that is, remember, since you have to schedule a shift on a DoorDash, in essence, DoorDash schedules promos. So based on DoorDash's analytics, based on either their predictive demand levels from customers or what they predict, the amount of drivers that they predict driving at that certain marketplace at that certain time, those all dictate the bonus amounts. So there's a promo tab on your DoorDash Dasher app. It'll say, okay, hey, in this segment of the marketplace, you can earn this bonus during this specific time. And that changes. Again, it's all based on data. So this other marketplace will earn this bonus for these certain times. But regardless, no, for either of these apps is based on supply and demand. This is where you need to leverage your expertise, especially for Uber Eats, because there's not predictive bonuses, at least not typically on Uber Eats. So if you have a good idea based on your market knowledge of when it's busy and where it's busy on Uber Eats, that's how you maximize your success with their platform. And then your market experience with DoorDash may say, okay, I know that typically a $2 bonus is average, or a $4 bonus is exceptional, and I want to sign up for that shift because let's say that's the highest bonus that we can expect. So what about demand levels? Which one's busier? Which is the better one to go for first? Well, I gotta be honest with you, I can't really answer that question. It is market dependent, and remember, they're very different with how they manage their bonuses. I would say at least on the surface level, it looks like Uber Eats is more real time. Just because that surge bonus, it is again a rolling bonus based on real-time data. And then DoorDash conversely has those predictive bonuses that are already posted ahead of time on your Dasher app. But if the data comes in on DoorDash and they're getting slammed with orders, even when you're on a current shift, those bonuses can increase. And don't worry, they never decrease. If it's listed on the promo section on DoorDash, that's what it is. Again, it can go up based on very high demand levels, but they won't go down. Next, let's talk about problems. Now, I drove for DoorDash years ago, and the most recent driver data is coming from my brother who is driving currently in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, we have found that in our experiences, at least, and in my opinion, Uber Eats isn't quite prone to crashes. But let me know down below in the comments if you've experienced app issues with Uber Eats, let us know. Conversely, with DoorDash, I have driven on DoorDash recently for years. I've completed over 1,300 deliveries. And in my actual driving experience, DoorDash may be prone to crashes about every quarter. Now that's anecdotal, but I know that when I've announced here on the channel and elsewhere that I've experienced a outage on the Dasher platform, a lot of you have echoed the same, something to keep in mind. So both apps give you a lot of information when you get the order request, important numbers as far as earnings and miles. When it comes to the pay, both have bonuses, albeit slightly different. And the features of being able to go online are also different, from being able to go online whenever you want with Uber Eats versus a scheduled shift, at least traditionally, with DoorDash. Versus the demand levels. That's where your expertise comes into play. What's more popular in your marketplace? And then lastly, any problems? The only thing I've really seen again is DoorDash being prone to crashes at times. So now I want to turn this over to you. Who gets your time and your attention when on the road? Because frankly, this is a tight race, and both of these apps are big players in the delivery space. DoorDash, maybe surprisingly, is actually number one, not Uber Eats. But with a recent acquisition, Uber is expected to close on an acquisition of Postmates in early 2021. Will that change? Let me know down below in the comments, and also down below in the description is that Amazon storefront. Make sure to check that out and get the very best accessories. You can also click or tap the screen right now for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you, and I'll see you in the next one.